Columbus State back in the national championship for the third time in school history. We'll show you the Cougars' World Series journey as they try to capture their first title in 16 years. And more postseason baseball for Georgia and Auburn. Lady Bulldogs in the World Series. Baseball Dogs back hosting a regional for the first time in a decade. And Auburn looking for a rally in Raleigh. It's all coming up on The Last Call. Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. We've got to start with D2, where the CSU Cougars were going for history in Cary, North Carolina. Columbus State started this week with one goal: win a national championship. Here's a look back at their World Series journey. The Cougars started 2-0 in the World Series, outscoring their opponents 14-1 through 2 games. It's simple, really. Columbus State got 8 shutout innings from All-American Colton Ingram in their Game 1 win over Mercyhurst on Sunday. Then they got 7 scoreless innings from Perez Knowles on Monday, taking down last year's national runner-up UC San Diego 6-0. And then in their third game, the Cougars lost to Florida Southern on Thursday, so it was win or go home on Friday. Colton Ingram gets the start again. He's in a jam in the very first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, gets a strikeout here. He then gets a ground out to get out of the inning unscathed. Bottom of the first, 2 outs and bases loaded. Looks like Florida Southern is going to get out of their own jam, but the routine fly ball is dropped by the second baseman. Austin Farr and Mason McClellan come home to score. 2-0 CSU. Frank Wager at the dish. The shortstop trips. The ball gets past him for a hit, and Chase Brown races home 3-0. Still the first inning. Gunnar Drennan up now. A little bloop to right, and the ball gets down. Robert Brooks comes in to score, and that makes it 4-0. They'd score another one on a wild pitch, so 5-0 after just the first inning. Fast forward to the 5th. Cougars up 8-1. Grant Berry trying to steal second. The throw, not even close. Drew Webb comes home to score from third. Still in the 5th, Garrett Kirkwood hits a chopper to second. Second baseman can't handle it. Another error by the Moccasins. Get this, 9 of CSU's 11 runs were unearned. But Florida Southern would not go away easily. 11-5 in the 8th. Logan Browning singles through the right side, and it's 11-6. But that would be as close as CSU would let them get. Mason McClellan at the hot corner makes a great play over there, and they are heading to the national championship. Colton Ingram gets the win and sets the single-season record for most strikeouts at 150, most innings pitched at more than 136, and most wins in a season with 14. In the national championship, the Cougars had the odds stacked against them, going up against number 11 Augustana. The Vikings won all 3 of their World Series games, so CSU needs 2 wins to capture the title. Scoreless in the 2nd, and Perez Knowles in a bit of a jam, but here's a pitcher's best friend. No team in Division II has turned as many double plays as CSU. Gunnar Drennan to Grant Berry over to first to get out of the inning. In the 4th, here come the Vikings. Runners on the corners. Ryan Nickel singles to center, and the runner from third comes in for the game's first run. Same inning. Lucas Berry is up, and he's going to lay down a perfect bunt down the third base line. Jordan Barth running on the play. He scores, makes it 2-0 Vikings. Columbus State didn't get their first hit off of Jacob Blank until the 5th. Austin Farr snaps that streak and singles to right field, but Blank is the reigning D2 player of the year for a reason. Get this, he hasn't lost a start in 2 years, 18-0. Gets Chase Brown looking. Next batter, though, it's the freshman catcher Robert Brooks. He hammers this one over the wall and left. A 2-run shot, and CSU ties it up. But that tie would not last long. We go to the 6th inning, and here comes Augustana again. TJ Mix is up at the plate, and he is going to single through the right side. Lucas Wiley comes home, beats the throw, scoring from second base, and the Vikings retake the lead 3-2. Could be the game-winning run. Jacob Blank, once again, living up to his name, blanking CSU batters all day. Gets Robert Brooks swinging, and then in the 9th, CSU is down to their final strike. Blank gets his 12th strikeout of the day as Chase Brown goes down looking, and Augustana wins the D2 World Series 3-2 over Columbus State.
A tremendous season for the Columbus State baseball team comes to an end here in Cary, North Carolina, as the Cougars come up 2 wins short of the Division II National Championship. Columbus State falling 3-2 to Augustana to end their dream run in 2018.
Because we've been on such a good ride with this club, and sometimes people just look at the ingredients of what a team is, but sometimes it's how it's mixed together. And the leadership that our seniors gave us, the personality that those guys gave us, sometimes you can't replicate that, even though you got a lot of guys coming back. So I told these guys that, and when I met with them, I said, I just appreciated you taking me along for the ride on this great ride that we got all the way to the national championship game. And so I couldn't be more proud of them. And but I know we'll have some good guys coming back next year, and it'll be fun again next year.
You can expect great things from this program in the years to come. This year's team only losing 2 senior starters. Reporting from the Division II World Series, Brendan Robertson, WRBL News 3 Sports, on your side.
Congrats to CSU on a great season. Also, shout out to Brendan for driving 8 hours to Cary, North Carolina. Speaking of the World Series, the Georgia Lady Bulldogs were back for the second time in 3 years. Double elimination in Oklahoma City, and a tall task for the Dogs, who are in a bracket with Florida, UCLA, and Florida State. First game on Thursday against the Gators, who won the SEC tournament a few weeks ago and are the #2 team in the country. But it's the Dogs who pounce first. Justice Mills to deep center, gone. 2-run shot. Georgia is up 2-0. Florida doesn't waste any time getting those 2 back. It's the freshman, Jordan Matthews, sending this one to deep left, careens off the wall. Gators bring home 2, and this one is tied at 2 in the bottom of the first. Still the bottom of the first, and Alicia Ocasio with 2 on and is going to clear the bases. A 3-run home run. Gators take a 5-2 lead. Jordan Roberts at the dish now and absolutely destroys this one. Deep to left center for a 2-run shot in the 4th, and it would be more of the same the rest of the way. Florida wins 11-3. So that leaves the Gators with an elimination game against Florida State on Saturday in Oklahoma City, trying to keep their season alive. Bottom of the 4th, Seminoles up 1-0, bases loaded, no outs. Zoe Costas up the middle, scores 2, and she has all 3 of FSU's RBIs on the day. Bulldogs would get on the board in the 5th. Justice Mills up with 2 on, almost a home run, still scores 2, and she's in with a stand-up triple. But that was all Georgia would get. Down to their last out, Megan King gets the line out for the complete game, and Georgia's season come to an end. The Dogs have plenty to be proud of, though. 48 wins this season. Meanwhile, Georgia baseball looking for a trip to their own World Series. Dogs haven't been in 10 years. They also haven't hosted a regional in a decade, but that changed this weekend. Georgia's game against Campbell got rained out on Friday, rescheduled to Saturday. The Dogs were down 2-0 in the second till now. Cam Shepard goes oppo for the 2-run home run, and this one is going to be all tied up in the second inning. Campbell retakes the lead, but that wouldn't last long for the Fighting Camels. Can't do that without laughing. Bases loaded for Tucker Bradley, and he promptly unloads them. A grand slam. Georgia shows why they're the 8th-ranked team in the country, puts up 18 runs on Campbell on their way to a win. So the Bulldogs are 1 win away from the regional final, and they were taking on Troy today after getting rained out last night. A lot of rain in Athens. If you like home runs, this is the game for you. Casey McGovern breaks the tie in the top of the 3rd, his 17th of the year, and the Dogs are up 3-1. Trojans take a 6-3 lead. We pick it up in the 6th, and Casey McGovern is the governor of Foley Field. Ball goes over the beast in center, his 2nd home run of the day. Michael Curry, this guy also had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, and here he is again. Ball bounces off the wall, almost gets his 3rd home run, stays in the park, still scores 2, and Georgia takes the lead. There were 7 home runs in this game, but C.J. Smith says there will not be an 8th. Takes a home run away, and Georgia wins 11-7. What an incredible play, and they will play in the regional final tomorrow against the winner of Duke and Troy. For Auburn, the path back to Omaha has been even longer than Georgia. Tigers haven't been in the College World Series in 21 years, and they didn't have the luxury of hosting a regional. Tigers playing in the Raleigh Regional, Game 1, and it's freshman Tanner Burns getting the start against Northeastern on Friday. Bases loaded with 2 outs, bit of a jam, but he gets a line drive to get out of it. And then we go to the bottom of the 1st. It's another freshman, Edward Julian. See ya, a 3-run shot to left field, his 16th of the year. He has 65 RBIs this season, tying him for 2nd most by a freshman. Bottom of the 4th, 4-2 now. Tigers have 2 on, and again, It's a 3-run home run by a freshman. This time, it's Steven Williams sending it over the fence and right. Tigers take a 7-2 lead and cruise to a 13-4 win. That marks win number 100 for head coach Butch Thompson, only the 4th Auburn baseball coach to reach that feat. So Auburn in the winner's bracket, taking on Army, which upset 1 seed NC State. Hardaway grad Josh Anthony up to bat here, and he's going to make it 2-0. It's his 4th home run of the year in the top of the 5th, and Auburn takes a 2-0 lead. Next batter, it's Will Holland, and it is back-to-back Jacks. Tigers go up 3-0. They scored 9 runs in the 5th inning alone to take a 10-0 lead. 7 different Tigers had RBIs, and they had 17 hits on the night. Casey Mize in the 7th. This guy is unreal. Gets strikeout number 11 here. He has 151 for the season, tying him for 3rd most in school history. Auburn wins big, 12-1. And then today, Tigers facing 1 seed NC State. Wolfpack need 2 wins. Auburn just 1 to advance to the Super Regionals. Josh Anthony was 5 for 8 coming into this game, and the Columbus native and Hardaway grad had himself another big day. 2 sac flies to start the game, and then Anthony doubles to score another run, and the Tigers go up 3-0. Next inning, Anthony again on a rope to the shortstop who can't handle it. It's ruled an RBI single and then an error. It scores 2 more, and Auburn up 6-0 over the Wolfpack, and Josh's big day wasn't over just yet. Auburn up big 10-3, and he's going to add to it. Bases loaded in the 8th, rips it to right, and it's a 3 RBI triple. He went 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs, and for the first time since 1999, the Auburn Tigers are headed to the Super Regionals. Tigers scored a combined 38 runs in their 3 regional games. Not bad at all. And to wrap up our postseason coverage this week, the CVCC Pirates dropped a pair of 1-run games at the JUCO World Series. Heartbreaker on Sunday. The Pirates rallied back after being down 2-0, eventually went up 7-5 heading into the 9th inning, but gave up 3 runs in the 9th. They lose 8-7 to Temple and were eliminated from the JUCO World Series. Still a great season for the Pirates. Still to come, the Braves celebrated a pair of walk-off wins against the Mets, but would it be enough to keep their top spot in the NL East? We'll recap their week against the Mets and Nationals. Plus, the first place Columbus Lions playing their 2nd game this year against last year's national champ. Could the Lions beat Jacksonville in the last few seconds? We'll show you after the break.
For the Braves. High fly ball, hit deep toward left center, at the track, at the wall. Charlie walks this off again. Swing and a drive down the line. Did he get enough? He did! Braves walk off again on a line drive homer by Johan Camargo. High fly ball, belted deep left. Soto back. Charlie walks him off again.
8 games and 3 walk-off home run wins, 2 from Charlie Culberson. He only has 2 home runs this year. Man, what a week it was for the Braves at home. Atlanta had a pair of games with the Mets on Monday, and Game 1 ended in fireworks with Culberson's pinch hit 2-run home run to give Atlanta the 4-3 win. The Mets took Game 2 8-5, but once again, they were walking off at SunTrust on Tuesday. Braves were down 6-3 before scoring 3 runs in the 8th, and then that set up this. Another walk-off home run, this time from Johan Camargo for the 7-6 win. Mets would win on Wednesday to split the series, and then the Nationals came to town. Sean Newcomb pitched 7 strong innings, only gave up 4 hits in a 4-2 win. He improves to 6-1 this season, and the Braves pitching was even better the next day. Mike Foltynewicz tossed his first career complete game shutout, striking out 11 Washington batters, while Dansby Swanson cranked a 3-run homer in a 4-0 victory. Atlanta ran out of walk-off magic on Saturday, losing 5-3 in 14 innings. But Charlie's charm came back on Sunday, his 2nd walk-off pinch hit home run of the week, and the Braves hold on to first place in the NL East and take the series from the Nationals. Columbus Lions in first place at 4-1 in the National Arena League, taking on the Jacksonville Sharks on the road on Saturday. Quavon Hicks at the running back position is going to get this one. Goes to the left, and it's 45-41 Lions. Lions go up 51-41, but the Sharks would come back. A.J. McPherson hits Gilchrist. Sharks go up 55-51, and then Hicks, his 4th touchdown of the game. Lions retake the lead 65-61. Jacksonville has an answer again. McPherson to Gilchrist for his third tutty of the game, and the Sharks are now in front 67-65. Lions have 1 minute to get at least a field goal, and they can't do it. Lindsey Wolf misses the 21-yard field goal that would have won the game, and the Lions lose 67-65. Ouch. All right, still coming up on the last call, the Alabama Crimson Tide men's golf team playing for a national championship this week, and they were playing the top-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. We'll show you if they were able to make school history after the break. At 2:30 on Tuesday, Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl tweeted out boom, boom, boom. The reason? 3 of his players announced they will return to Auburn next season after exploring the possibility of playing in the NBA. Auburn center Austin Wiley, point guard Jared Harper, and shooting guard Bryce Brown will all be back on the Plains. All 3 announced their decisions on Tuesday, a day before the deadline for underclassmen who haven't hired an agent to withdraw from the NBA draft. The NCAA ruled Wiley ineligible last season, and he will be eligible this season. Meanwhile, Mustafa Heron also declared for the draft, and he decided this week to transfer to St. John's. The Alabama Crimson Tide men's golf team was playing for a national championship this week against the top-ranked team in the country, Oklahoma State. It was a rematch of the 2014 national championship, which the Tide won. The 5th-ranked Crimson Tide, they fell this week, though, to the Cowboys 5-0 on Oklahoma State's home course in Stillwater. This was the Tide's 4th championship appearance in 7 years, the most of any school since the format began in 2009.
Thank you, Justin. It's time for us to make our picks. We made Connor go business casual since he is still in last place. I sit in first place. Connor, you're in last, so we're going to let Jack pick first. We've got the Women's College World Series. We're going to pick a team from each bracket, then a baseball series, then our personal pick.
Ever so kind of you. We'll go with the Gators. Florida and the Oregon Ducks both have been one of the top 5 teams all season long, so why go against them now?
That's right. Your Women's College World Series knowledge is impressive. Connor, you're in last, so we're going to make you pick last. It's my turn to go. I'm taking the Washington Huskies. They eliminated Alabama in the Super Regional. I'm taking Florida out of the other bracket. That's the same bracket the Georgia Lady Bulldogs are in.
Well, I'm taking those Georgia Lady Bulldogs in that bracket, and then I'm going with you, Jack. Oregon, the #1 overall seed, to win.
All right, let's move on. Baseball series, what you like?
I like the Braves in San Diego. I know the Braves traditionally have had struggles on their West Coast swings, but this is a different team than our traditional Braves teams, and San Diego's not exactly the hottest team in baseball, so I think the Braves can at least get me 2 out of 3.
I was going to go 2 out of 3 as well. I got the Braves over the Padres, and some impressive walk-off winners from the Braves in the last couple games. Connor,
Yeah, I think the Braves' luck is going to run out here eventually. I think they've been relying on those late season comeback or late game comebacks. I'm actually going to go up north, Boston over Detroit. Boston is very hot.
Best team in baseball.
Yep.
All right, personal pick. What you got, Jack?
Going back to the pitch because I love soccer. Atlanta United going on the road. Huge Eastern Conference matchup against NYCFC. They will get a win or draw. They're taking points away from Yankee Stadium. I know that much.
Bold prediction. All right, I'm going to the Belmont Stakes.
Of course you are.
Saturday, June 9th. Justify. Why not? Let's see if we see
Crown.
a Triple Crown winner. He's a 4-5 favorite. Not like I'm going out on a limb here. 1.5 mile track. He's got to outdo Quiet Morning and Bravazzo, apparently the other contenders that could challenge Justify. I hope we see another Triple Crown.
Another Triple Crown. Who would have thought we'd have seen 2 in our lifetime?
Exactly, especially after being so long since we had 1.
I'm going to go NASCAR per usual. Jimmie Johnson. Still hasn't won this year, guys. Jimmie Johnson to get his first win at Michigan.
All right, we can't wait to see Connor.
You haven't gotten one of these NASCAR picks right. Not one.
I got Kyle Busch 2 weeks ago.
You got 1.
Okay, 1 out of like what, 10?
Okay. All right.
That's why you're in last place.
Let's see your picks.
All right, thank you guys. I had the joy of waiting a few days to see how the softball tournament played out. So I already know the Washington Huskies are in the championship of the World Series, so I'm going to take the Huskies to win it all. For my Major League Baseball pick, I'm taking the Chicago Cubs. They are playing the Phillies at home. The Cubs have won 7 of their last 8. They are coming off a 3-game series against the Mets, and they swept the Mets, so I like the Cubs in there. And for my personal pick, I'm going over to UFC 225. I'm taking the champ in the middleweight division, Robert Whittaker, and I think he's going to beat Yoel Romero. I like Whittaker because first, he's already beat Romero once, and second, his nickname is the Reaper. Former Carver grad and current New York Jet Isaiah Crowell came back to his hometown on Saturday. Crowell held his 4th annual free football camp, which focuses on teaching kids how to be successful on and off the field. The rain and thunderstorms didn't stop hundreds of kids from coming out to A.J. McClung Memorial Field to meet Crowell and hone their football skills.
I wasn't able to do anything like this when I was young, so I just give all the kids opportunity. It's good to be back home. I always come back home just because, you know, I enjoy here, my family here, and it's good to see our friends, you know what I'm saying? Friends hard to come by, so, you know, I take advantage of that.
The Carver standout signed with the Jets during the offseason. Before signing, he spent 4 seasons with the Browns. When it comes time for the Braves to make their first selection with the number 8 pick, they're going to have a special guest, high school catcher Luke Terry. He's a 16-year-old from Tennessee who had his right arm amputated when he was 19 months old. That hasn't stopped him from playing baseball. He threw out a pitch for Atlanta, and he will announce their pick on Monday. Thanks for watching The Last Call. Same time next week. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook, signing off.